It's Thursday, July the 27th, and this is your Barbados Today evening news update. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Thanks for joining us. We begin with the news that government owes the Intimate Hotels of Barbados some $87,000 in VAT refunds. Delivering her financial report for the year ending December 31st, 2016, during the IHB's annual general meeting on Wednesday, Executive Director Gail Headley-Lowe told members there's no way the outstanding money can be written off. Conceding that she understands the government's cash flow problems, Headley-Lowe, however, said steps were being taken to collect the refunds. Meanwhile, health and safety consultant Brian Reese is working with the Intimate Hoteliers Group to put comprehensive disaster emergency response plans in place for the 48 member properties. Reese told them that such plans must say how to ensure all guests are accounted for after a disaster or emergency.
Critical part of the plan, the personnel accountability report, and a part of the plan that people very often leave out. They don't necessarily consider, will I be able to account for all of the individuals, not only employees, but also guests, and how do I ensure that after the accounting has been completed, I can provide this information to the first responders. It is a critical aspect because, and I'd like to share this, as far as first responders are concerned, they follow your lead. If you tell me that Brian Reese is unaccounted for, I have a duty to go into that property and see where Brian Reese is and where he was last reported to have been seen. If we have the accountability in place, then we know for a fact everyone is accounted for and we don't put the lives of those first responders at risk.
Head of the Barbados Private Sector Association, Charles Herbert, welcomes news from Prime Minister Francis Stewart that the next meeting of the social partnership will be broadcast live on television, but he has some concerns.
I believe that if the right discussion happens at that meeting, it would be good for it to be televised. I think if televising it makes it an opportunity for political grandstanding, then I think that would be a shame that it's televised, because I don't expect that we are coming to meetings to be attacked for having a march or to defend why we had a march. Our intention is to come to meetings to talk about the country's fiscal strategy.
Herbert is also happy that the meeting has been brought forward by a week to August the 11th. Herbert says the ball is now in the union's court.
I suppose what you're essentially saying to the union is you're asking them to suspend whatever actions they have until they're satisfied that the dialogue is taking place. And it's quite a long time to ask the union to do that, and it'll be very interesting what their response is. That's very, very important. I think, it's one thing for me to say that I'm willing to wait, but there's more people in this than just me. It's very important that the union is also satisfied with the timing and the method and the assurance of what this dialogue is going to be about. Because just calling a meeting hasn't really sent us a very clear message that the Prime Minister has accepted need for a different kind of dialogue than what we have had in the past.
Meanwhile, in a joint trade union statement delivered this afternoon by President of the Barbados Secondary Teachers Union, Mary Redmond, the movement said it's still in the dark as to what the August 11th meeting is all about. Therefore, the unions will be seeking clarification on the matter before committing to it.
We recognize that it does not address our concern of urgency to release or bring easement to the vulnerable, while we are able to discuss and agree solutions to problems that all partners can commit to. We are also unclear as to whether the meeting can satisfy our request. It is beyond saying that there will be a meeting. An agenda and structure has not been agreed to, and the trade union movement asks for a specific type of structure for the meeting that they requested. We shall now be seeking clarification in this regard.
Chief Executive Officer of the Caribbean Credit Bureau, Grady Clark, has launched a verbal attack on the Barbados Bankers Association, saying it should stay out of the credit bureau business and stick to banking. This stems from a plan by the bankers to facilitate the establishment of a credit bureau in Barbados in the coming months and the possibility of hiring an international firm to provide the service. But Clark contends that an international firm would drain the island's foreign exchange and send jobs overseas.
So now you want to come and damage all that I've done in Barbados and the region and export foreign exchange and jobs at this stage in our economy to make your foreign bank shareholders more profit? Stay in banking and leave out the credit bureau business banks. You have no right coming in here with the RFP. And I ain't replying to it because it's all fake. It's all foolishness. I'm not going to give it that any credibility. That's the real reason why I'm not replying. To what? Give that process credibility? It's flawed.
Despite improvements in the information technology strategies to mitigate political and economic uncertainties, IT professionals are not convinced that the IT infrastructure is as effective as it should be. What is more, the second annual Harvey Nash KPMG 2017 CIO survey shows that resistance to change is the single biggest impediment to companies achieving digital success. Manager of IT Advisory for KPMG Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean, Mariette Simmons Brown, presented a snapshot of responses for the KIG component.
When we talk about resistance to change, we have to look at this from an external perspective and also an internal perspective. Yes, we are in a region where we respond slower to change, but also a lot of the time we find a lot of resistance internal to the organization. And if we look back at what was spoken about before, where CIOs, they still are seen in a role where they're performing more, I would say, regular operational type IT tasks and not being involved in the business. We do have some aspect or some restriction there in terms of change, and that is also placing a bit of a dampen on how we approach digital capabilities and implementation of digital capabilities.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Imagine screaming for your favorite artists as they compete in the Sweet Soca and Party Monarch Finals of the MQI 98.1 The Wall Soca Royale in association with JetBlue, Billy B, Marvey, Lil Rick, Marsville, Nikita, RPB, Sanctuary, Shaquille, and TC battling reigning Sweet Soca Monarch Edwin. Then it's the Party Monarch Finals with Raz, Ali, and Griner, Faith, Mikey, Mr. Deal, Mr. Blood, Peter Ram, Ramses Brown, and Sophia, all battling reigning Party Monarch Lil Rick. A sleek Mazda 3 for each winner. General tickets are now $60 or pay $70 at the door. Royal Sunday, July 30th at the Bushy Park Racing Circuit. It's the MQI 98.1 The Wall Soca Royale in association with JetBlue. Get your tickets now. Tickets available at the NTS, www.ticketpal.com, and all Crossover box offices. Get your tickets now.
And in regional news, a Dominican and a Vincentian have been charged after a major drugs bust off the Vieux-Fort coast of St. Lucia. Dominican Alec Curiel and the St. Vincent national Brian Mears were charged yesterday with multiple counts of drug possession and trafficking after the St. Lucia Marine Police intercepted the vessel on which they were sailing with well over 1,000 pounds of marijuana. The Dominican was reportedly shot in his shoulder during the police-led operation at sea. The two have been remanded to jail until September 9th, when they are scheduled to reappear in court. Venezuela's government says it will ban protests ahead of this weekend's vote for a special constitutional assembly, a direct challenge to opposition leaders who planned massive Friday demonstrations against the election.
The fear here in Venezuela is palpable, with many wondering if their country is at a tipping point. President Nicolas Maduro has called a referendum vote for Sunday, a vote that the opposition claims will give him substantial new powers to essentially act like a dictator and erase any trace of democracy here in Venezuela. Nicolas Maduro says that he will continue to go ahead with this vote despite the fact that the White House could now be a game changer. President Trump saying that he is promising swift Economic action if President Maduro continues to go ahead with this vote on Sunday. Now, we have to remember that in the meantime, Venezuelans are still trying to get to those very basic necessities of life every day, trying to stock up on food and medicine that has been so scarce now for months and months.
On the global front now, Republican lawmakers and the conservative activists have been rushing to the defense of embattled U.S. Attorney General Jeff Sessions. It comes after days of criticism from President Donald Trump.
In the most dramatic language yet on the subject, U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham warning the president from going after Sessions or special counsel in the Russia investigation, Robert Mueller.
If Jeff Sessions is fired, there will be holy hell to pay. Any effort to go after Mueller could be the beginning of the end of the Trump presidency.
Julia Edwards-Ainsley is covering the story.
Some have speculated that firing Sessions would be Trump's path to firing special counsel Robert Mueller, who is leading the Russia investigation. Trump obviously very upset that that investigation is unfolding and about the leaks that have come from it.
Sessions weathering days of humiliation from President Trump, who has called his longtime ally weak and beleaguered, but so far hasn't fired him. Trump frustrated that Sessions has recused himself from a criminal investigation into possible collusion between Trump's campaign and Russia.
And that's news and sports, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. Also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We are also on Izumi Media in bus terminals or Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you, as well as Mix 96.9 FM. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Have a fantastic evening.